Good afternoon. My name is Rita Robinson, and I want to welcome each one of you to Ageless Ambitions. Today I am so excited about the couple that we have because this particular segment is on marriage after the big age, the age of 65. This podcast is for people who are over the age of 65, living their very best life. Yes, living their life, staying active, staying relevant. And today we have a wonderful couple that has agreed to come and talk on this particular segment, which is marriage after the age of 65. There's a lot of things that's going to be going on in the future. You don't want to miss the different segments that we're going to have. But today we're starting our segment 1 on marriage after the age of 65, and you'll get to hear what that's like today. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you a beautiful couple, Anita and Larry Mead. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you both?
Miss Rita?
So good to see you. Thank you for agreeing to come. Larry, it's a pleasure. Good to see you both.
Your lips telling me my wife.
No.
You'll be jealous.
Thank you both for coming today. I am so excited about having you both here and talk about marriage after 65.
Okay, we're ready.
Well, that's good. Tell me, how long were you both single? Larry, how long were you single before you met Anita?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, okay.
I was almost a year.
Almost a year, okay. And where did you two meet?
Well, my husband had passed away with pancreatic cancer and had gone through quite a bit in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And I just went into a deep depression and I stayed home. I didn't care if I got dressed. I didn't care what happened. I just stayed home and watched TV. Well, this advertisement kept coming up on TV.
Okay.
And it was for modern mingles. And I said, who would want somebody? I've had cancer. I have no breasts. I have no, I'm just not ready to go out and date again.
Yeah.
Well, I sat there for about a year and I was really lonely. And I just said, this isn't what I'm going to do with my life.
Okay.
And so I called my friend. I'm not going to mention any names. I called my friend and I said, I need you to go with me somewhere. And she said, okay, where is it? I said, we're going to a dating service.
Okay.
And she said, oh no. I said, okay, come on, let's go. Well,
I'm sure that was quite surprising for her.
then we went and it was quite expensive, but I said, this is the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth it. I had talked to a couple of guys on the phone and on the internet, and I just wasn't satisfied with what I was hearing.
Yes.
So they check everybody out, and before you ever meet them, then you meet them in a safe place. So I went there, and Molly went with me, and like I said, it was expensive, so I said, I can't afford this. So we split a package.
Okay, how nice. That was
So
thoughtful.
she got half of my
that.
man, and I got half.
Okay.
So then I met Larry we went to IHOP, and we met at IHOP. I told him, I said, you'll see me in a bright yellow blouse.
How nice. And Larry, I'm sorry to cut you off. How long had you been on the site?
Oh, probably about 8 months.
About 8 months, okay.
Close to a year.
Okay, had you met anybody before?
Oh, I met a lot of girls, but
Okay.
they were all younger than I was.
Okay.
They were in their 50s or early 60s. And when you're at 79 years old, they kind of shy away from you.
Wow, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. And as you said, you're 79 years young, and Anita,
I
what
was
is your
around
age?
75 at the time.
75.
I'm 82 now.
Okay, oh my goodness, I would have never thought that. You look amazing. 79 at the time you met, and you were 76?
About 76.
About 75, 76. Okay, we not have to do math here. Don't worry about that. So,
we can do math.
but you actually have been married how long?
6 years. Well, it'll be 6 years in September.
No,
6
for us.
Yes.
You're talking about- Yeah, so
Yes.
well, obviously 6 years.
6 years in September.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the decision? Anita, you basically explained why you decided that you didn't want to live alone or be
Right.
alone. Larry, what made you decide that you wanted to go on the app, the site?
You have to go back into my history. I've been married. This is my 5th marriage.
Okay.
I had a divorce. I had an annulment and 2 deaths.
Okay.
I had my 3rd wife passed away of a heart attack at 49.
Wow.
My 4th wife, she had COPD, and her kidneys failed onto her, and she passed the 29th of December
Okay.
in 2015.
Okay.
So, and I've always looked at it as man shouldn't live alone.
Yeah, well, the Word of God says that as well.
That's one of my things I always come back to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if God wanted man to live alone, then he wouldn't have made Eve.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
he made somebody to help him. And I always find that female companionship is a lot better than just a bunch of buddies that wants to go out and harass the bar or
Yeah.
something like that. And I just said, no, we're going
That's not you.
No, it's not me. It's I got to find somebody that I can be with, and like I told Anita, I didn't want to. We could live together, but that wouldn't be right either.
That's true. That's very
So-
true.
One day we were out riding around, and I pulled into the where was it? Dillard's there,
Rolling Park Mall.
at the mall, and I said, "Do you want to get married? Will you marry me?" And she said, "Well, I don't, you know," and she him and hawed around. Really. Finally, she says, "Yeah, I guess so." I said, "Okay, let's go buy a ring." And we went in and bought a ring.
How wonderful! I love that. You know, it wasn't planned.
No,
And
there was no plan to it at all. It just,
that's
I didn't
amazing.
I didn't want to be alone anymore.
And obviously, she didn't either.
No.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a wonderful story. If you had it all over to do again, would you do it?
Sure.
Okay, Anita?
Yes, I would.
That's awesome.
Yes, I would.
That's awesome. So it's obvious you guys are enjoying your marriage. It's a good time.
We've had a little rough spots.
Well,
but,
that's marriage.
That's
Yeah, that's marriage.
When after this happened, you know, I looked back on it and I thought God was talking to me when I was watching TV.
Okay.
He was talking to me. You need to find someone, and you need a good man. And so when I met Larry, he was my first choice.
Okay.
And we went together for a long time, and he didn't know it, but about a week or two before he asked me to marry him, they wanted to know if I wanted to meet someone else.
I see. Okay.
And I said, well, let me let you know.
Okay.
And so a couple of days I said, no, I'm going to give Larry a chance.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Well, Larry, you were already chosen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Tell me, did you all get any naysayers? Do you both have children or no?
You
Oh,
go
yeah.
first.
Well, I've got, in my second marriage, she had 4 children,
Okay.
and I took them all in.
Okay.
And then they found out that our marriage wasn't legal because she wasn't divorced 6 months before she got remarried. That's a Wisconsin law. And
Okay.
she got divorced in Wisconsin. So the judge says, you were never married. But I still had the 4 kids.
Wow.
Those 4 kids still call me dad.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And I have 3 children by my first marriage.
Okay.
And then I have a daughter that lives here in San Antonio from my 4th marriage. And I'm still a dad and grandpa to all of their kids.
Okay.
So I got I got 8 kids that call me dad, and a group of kids that call me grandpa.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. Anita, how many children do you have?
I have 3 boys, and I have 3 granddaughters, and I have a step-granddaughter, although I've been with her since she was a little girl, so
Okay.
she's my granddaughter.
Oh, yeah.
And I have 9 great-grandkids, and I was always the matriarch of the family, that everybody came to my house. I babysat everybody. I took people in when they were in trouble, and I took their kids in.
Yes.
So that had been my life.
Yes, well,
Up until
that goes to
this
show
time.
you have a beautiful heart. You have a loving, kind heart.
And they were not happy.
I was going to go back to that original question. What about the naysayers? How many of those that said no, don't do it?
Mainly my granddaughter, and that's mainly because she was the one that was the closest to me,
Okay.
and I half raised her child, and she had always depended on Granny for everything. So
I see.
I think that was it, and she felt like she was abandoned. That I just
Oh.
moved across town. I should have moved out of the country because it would have been just as bad.
She thought you just left her.
Yes.
Left her stranded.
That's what
That
it was.
is so funny. But that was just one naysayer, so that's the good thing. I hear
All my
other.
kids loved it. They
That's
didn't have to
good.
take care of me.
That's good. That's one way.
Mom's not moving back in with us, so, you know.
Right. Okay. That's awesome. Well, that's good. You didn't get a bunch of negativity
No.
on getting married. That's awesome. After that age, I've read different things on Facebook and different other things that I've read. A lot of times, family members think the person is too old to get married after,
I have one child that has been a problem with that, that has had some mental issues and just issues that I've had to take care of.
Yeah.
And he's up in age now, and I still have him coming home every now and then.
Okay.
And that does cause a problem once in a while, but we love him, and we're just
And you just
we're
do it together.
dealing with it.
Yeah, that's what marriage is. You know, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And but the bottom line is, it's all about the two of you.
Yes.
That's what it's about. It's about the two of you. How would you say that your marriage has impacted your friends and people around you?
I don't think we've had that much problem with it. We really don't. We have friends. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but we don't visit a lot. And my closest friends, it's one of those things. If we don't see each other for 2 months, that's fine. We're still just like it was yesterday.
Okay,
And that's
awesome.
the type
I love
of friends I
hearing that.
have. We do go to church, and we've really enjoyed meeting people there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a whole new life for me to go to church, and just the Lord has been blessing us since then.
I remember you guys got married in Las Vegas.
Yep.
And then a few months later, or a year later,
No, it's
it was a couple of years later.
5 years.
4 or
5 years later, you
Yes.
decided to renew.
Yeah.
Yes, originally we planned to have a big wedding out at the castle on 46,
Okay.
and we got over, we rented it, we paid down on it, we did everything, and I got so nervous I couldn't do it. I said, I can't do this. Okay, let's go to Las Vegas. Okay. So we went to Las Vegas, and some of our friends came with us, and we had a great time. Nothing went right. My hairdresser didn't show up. My cake wasn't done, and we had ice cream cake.
Wow. Wow.
And we celebrated in our apartment.
To say nothing went right. Okay. Well, since then, 5 years later, you renewed your vows,
Right.
and I was there. That was absolutely beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. The wedding itself, the reception afterwards,
Thank you.
it was definitely beautiful.
Thank you.
And it was like doing it all over, but for the very first time.
That's right, and he had a favorite song that he liked that he sang before that, and I said, we've got to play this song in this wedding. So when we left, we played Don't Worry, Be Happy.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What would you, and take a second, if you had it all over well, let me put it this way. What would you tell someone else if they were considering getting married after 70? What would you?
I'll let him talk first.
Okay,
Do it.
do it. Okay?
Don't sit back and think about it. Do it, because life is just too short. You have no idea what you're going to have tomorrow. And I think that if they're going to do something and you love the person, then do it and be married. Be together for as long as you're allowed.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with getting married again.
Yes.
I don't think that if something happens to her that I'll ever get married again. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Right. Well,
But I'm not
Larry, you.
I've made him so happy he's going to get married again.
And Anita, would you tell someone to do it?
I definitely would. And ladies, don't worry about what you look like. I don't care if you're fat. I don't care if you're tall or you're short or if you're titless like I am.
Okay.
But there is a man out there who will love all of you. And this man loves me.
That's awesome. Oh, that brings tears to my eyes. Larry, you're a good guy.
Well, I told her the first day when we sat down having coffee, and she said, I'm Anita, and we shook hands, and I said, okay, and she just looked at me, she says, I have no breast.
Okay,
like
that was an opening line.
Yeah, it was.
That was definitely an opening line.
They caught me, and I looked at her.
So I don't know quite what to do with that.
And I looked at her and says, so, what does that make you? Less than a woman? I said, you're still a woman, aren't you? She says, yes. I
What
said,
a wonderful answer. What a wonderful answer. But that was definitely an opening line, Anita. Yeah,
I didn't want to fool around.
That's
with all
right,
this
just get
stuff
it
in
out
between.
there. Ladies, you hear that. Get it out there. Whatever it is you want to tell that man.
And I told him I might have a child that we might have to put up with. And I told him, I have medical problems. But that didn't matter. And it still doesn't matter.
No.
That's
He loves
awesome.
me.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. He loves me. Did y'all hear that? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And that's all that matters. Where do you see your future going now? I mean, I know you guys are y'all traveling? Are you doing anything?
Well, right now, we've let our finances get a little out of hand.
Okay.
So we've got to get our finances back in shape. And
Okay.
then we might do some traveling.
We traveled a lot right after we got married.
Yeah.
We went on a 6,000-mile trip and went all to the East Coast and met all his family, and everybody accepted me like I was one of their own.
Okay, well,
And
you
so
would be
we
hard
traveled.
not to
We
accept,
traveled.
Anita.
We drove to Las Vegas and we drove back, and we have traveled, and we're going to do it again as soon as we can get our medical and finances ready.
Yes, well, medical can do a lot to your finances. I can speak on that because when my husband passed away, I found myself in a situation financially, but God has taken care of me, being alone, and I'm sure He will continue. That's His promise. And so you have each other. And so you're going to be able to build it back up and get back to,
Oh yeah,
to travel.
we're working on it.
That's awesome.
We're working on it. It's going to happen. And Miss Rita, I have to say, I tried to wear something that would be blingy because you always try to out bling me. That's not the truth. I try to out bling her, but I can't do it.
This lady dresses, believe me. I don't know, we never mentioned it, but we do attend the same church. And whenever Anita walks in the room, you know she's there because she is blinged down. And I can't tell if the camera is showing, but she has a total bling out shell on, beautiful jewelry. And this is Tuesday, like 2:00 in the afternoon. This is how she looks. So don't let her fool you. I'm trying to keep up with her, believe me. And I always love, Larry, that you come in with some of the most awesome hats. You always
He gives them
come in.
away every time I care.
Does he really?
Someone says, I like your hat, he gives it to
Well,
them.
Larry, I like your hat.
There you go.
Y'all see that? I just got me a hat,
Yeah,
and it
you
is
do.
beautiful. How wonderful.
You got
He's ordered more hats.
I EJ's got a hat of mine.
Okay.
What's her name, the singer? What,
Is she was a singer or is
Yeah.
it another lady? I can't remember. I know one lady came up on-
Angelea.
Angelina,
I think it was her, and there's another lady there, but he had a black hat on, and it was Western Day. And she said, I just need a hat. He says, here.
Oh my goodness.
And then-
And she loved it.
That's amazing.
I gave
That is
Pastor
amazing.
Adrian, he's got two of my hats. I gave Savannah.
TJ has, what's her name?
EJ.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he
She
did.
has one.
Yes.
And her husband that passed away has one.
She's
Oh,
got
my
one, yeah, so
goodness.
he had got two of them. Savannah's got one. So I think that's about, there might be another two or three out there.
Okay.
And now you've got
Now I have one, and I love this. I already know what I'm gonna wear with it. I can.
Oh, you just dress it up. Put some bling on
I'll put
Put
some
bling
bling
on
on
it,
it.
and it works perfect. I got
Okay.
one just almost like it.
Okay, I will do that. You didn't say nothing
Just
but
put
a
bling
word.
on
I'll
it.
put some bling on it.
bling on my hat. Oh,
Well,
I'm
go
not sure if I'll be
ahead.
able to take that when I see it.
And before I met Larry, I was not a bling person.
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
I wore shorts and I wore jeans and I wore everything, and I still do at home. But when I go to church, I like to dress up, and I feel good.
And it shows. It shows because you are a very well dressed lady.
I dabbled in style and making clothes for a little while. I was going to try and do that, but I just didn't have the to do it. So
Well, it
anyway,
takes
I did
patience,
sell
too.
a few clothes that were, and they were all blingy.
Blingy. Okay. Well, it was in there. That's the important thing. And now you're bringing it out. Well, it has been a pleasure having you both here. I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing with everyone. And I know they're going to love this interview. I have no doubt. You both are a beautiful couple. And I'm excited about showing it.
And Miss Rita, she is beautiful too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to end here. And I want to thank everybody for coming. If you are thinking about getting married over the big age of 65, as they both said, do it. Don't wait, do it. And also, remember, take care of yourself. Go out and do something motivating for someone else. And keep in mind, what you are is your gift from God. What you become is your gift to Him. Take care. I love you. And I'll see you at the next interview. This is segment 1. And we have another segment coming up with Molly and Larry Smith. So don't miss that one.
Gary Smith.
Gary Smith. I'm sorry. Larry, I'm getting ready to have you married again.
And
Molly and Gary Smith.
Yeah.
And Molly's been my friend for 50 years. So.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. So stay tuned. Look for our next segment. Take care in the meantime. Love you guys. Bye-bye.